What's going on, y'all? Welcome to Royalty Gamers and Podcasts. I'm your host, Jersey the King, and today I'll be bringing you my first installment of my new video series, Xfl Now. We'll be going over why and how the XFL should and could expand within their own league first before even thinking about merging with another spring league. So keep it locked right here. Let's break it down. Now, let's start off with the how. How can the XFL expand within their own league on their own first without even thinking about a merge? Here's my reasoning. Go back in history, if need be, and if you're able to. And what I mean by that is go back to the old logos and nicknames from the original 2001 launch of the XFL, the original teams. If you still have trademark rights and copyrights to those nicknames and those logos and things of that nature, use them. Bring back teams in certain markets that aren't in the XFL currently, because 6 out of the original 8 teams of the 2001 XFL don't have a location right now or a team right now. So, since Vegas and Orlando do, you take that Vegas and Orlando team and you put them somewhere else. It's that simple. And you see how successful it is first before thinking about merging with another company and another spring league. And then that ultimately fails. Or if it is successful, it's not as successful as it could be if you're able to expand within your own league first and then branch off and merge after the fact. Now, how can they do that? Again, you utilize those different team names and logos and put them in new markets. And what I've done for this video for you guys is I've made a couple concept maps of my own of what it could look like for a decent expansion in local markets, or football markets that either don't have a football team anymore or need a professional football team. So let's take a look. Now, on this first map, as you see, I've thrown in those other 8 logos, and we're going to go over this and see what the best options could possibly fit if this concept works. Now, let's take this Chicago Enforcers team, because, of course, Chicago is a big football market. Let's take this Chicago Enforcers team, put them back in Chicago. Bring that XFL fan base back. Okay? Since there's no longer a New York or New Jersey team, you bring back the New York, New Jersey Hitmen. Bring back that market. But we may not, and I'll tell you why on the next map. But in this concept here, we're going to bring back that New York, New Jersey team. We're going to move Orlando, depending on how their season is this year. If they're just horrible, we move them to Miami. Get them a better market, better fan base. Keep them the Guardians or change their name, whatever the case, but move them to Miami. Okay? Now, that old Memphis Maniacs team, we bring them back and we throw them in Atlanta. Maybe not keep the name, but just throwing the logo in there for use of this concept. Now, you don't have to throw no more teams in Texas at all. We throw that Orlando Rage team in, let's say, Nebraska or Kansas or Oklahoma. Just saying. Oklahoma would be a good market, especially Tulsa, Oklahoma City. Kansas would be a good market, of course, because of how big the college football scene is there, as well as the Kansas City Chiefs. Then you got to imagine Omaha or Lincoln, Nebraska would be a great fit for an XFL team as well. Then we go look at the West Coast. Or, we go put a team in either Milwaukee, Wisconsin, or somewhere in Minnesota. Get a team in that area for the XFL. Grow the fan base there. Then we bring back the San Francisco Demons or move them to Portland. Just saying, that market could use a football team. And instead of bringing back an LA team, you bring back the Vibe or the Extreme and throw them in San Diego, since the NFL just completely raped San Diego of a football team and moved them to LA. So definitely throw another team in the San Diego area. You know what I mean? And then you either get an Arizona team or a New Mexico team for your Las Vegas Outlaws logo. And if you don't utilize that logo, or keep the team name, whatever the case, just like I said, this is for the concept map purposes of this video. But now you've got 16 teams. So what you could do is divide the conferences or the divisions into 4 divisions now. You got a North Division, you got a South Division, you got an East Division, you got a West Division. You can put the Hitmen, the Defenders, that Atlanta team, and the Guardians in the East. Put that Minnesota or Wisconsin team, the Chicago Enforcers, the St. Louis Battlehawks, and either that Nebraska, Oklahoma, or Kansas team in the North. Then you got that New Mexico or Arizona team and all 3 Texas teams for your South. And then you got your Seattle, Las Vegas, either Portland or San Francisco, and your San Diego team for your West. Now we got 4 divisions. Now we got a longer season, better playoffs, more teams contending for the X Bowl, which I like to call it, which I think we should call it, the X Bowl. But honestly, it'll give us a chance to have a longer spring season. That way, when it's time for the NFL to come back, boom, it's kind of like year-round football, damn near. And we see how this 16-team expansion is, and if it works, awesome. If not, it's going to suck. So if you don't do a full 16-team expansion, you do a 12-team expansion. See how that 12-team expansion works. If the 12-team expansion works, then you add in the other 4 teams, get it to a 16-team league. Period. Still, at the end of the day, this is how we could utilize those old logos and team nicknames, as well as get a new feel for a longer spring league. So that way the fans have something to cheer for all summer and spring long, all spring and summer long. You know what I mean? Now, let's get into the second map, and I'll show you the difference in the markets. And, if you guys agree, let me know in the comments as well. Now, on the second map, as you see, for the East Division, we moved the Hitmen out of there. Okay? Instead, you'll be looking at the Defenders in DC, of course, still. But now we move a team to the Carolinas, one of the Carolinas, North Carolina, South Carolina. Keep a team in Atlanta. Again, depending on how the Guardian season go, keep them in Orlando or move them to Miami. Then you put a team in Ohio, keep the Chicago Enforcers in Chicago, or if you decide to not hit the Chicago market, put them in the Wisconsin area. Then you put a team in Minnesota and keep St. Louis exactly where they're at. And then instead of bringing San Francisco back or a Portland team, we move them to Boise. Put them in Idaho. Get us a team in Idaho. Get them folks out there, them huge football fans out there, a freaking pro team. Because you see, the NFL hasn't looked at them. And if they have, they aren't considering it yet. So throw an XFL team out there. Get a fan base out there so big that the NFL has no choice but to think about moving a team there in the near future or whatever the case may be. And then instead of putting a team in San Francisco, we put it in, or San Diego, throw a team in San Jose. Or throw a team in Oakland. You feel what I'm saying? And then again, this would be your East. The Defenders, the Carolina team, Atlanta team, the Florida team, whether it be Miami or Orlando. Your North would be that Ohio team, that Chicago or Wisconsin team, that Minnesota team, and the St. Louis Battlehawks. Then you bring back on the West, we're going to take that Arizona or New Mexico team and move them to either Utah or Colorado. And you still throw them in the South with San Antonio, Houston, and Arlington. And then your West would be Seattle, of course, Las Vegas, that Boise team, or that San Jose or Oakland team. And now you've got, again, a successful 16-team league of spring football. And again, longer season, longer playoffs, more contending teams for the X Bowl. Period. That's what I'm telling you. They should just call it the X Bowl, man. Tell me that wouldn't be so dope. You know what I'm saying? The first annual, the inaugural X Bowl. You know what I'm saying? That'll be so lit. But that's what I think the XFL should do as far as expanding on their own and utilizing the past, utilizing history. If you're able to do it, like I said, if our league still has the copyrights and trademark rights to those old nicknames and logos, let's use them. Let's use them. Let's get our league growing. That gives more players who can't go into the NFL right away a chance to hone their skills and get their craft to where it needs to be to get in the league. So that way we always have a legit second chance league for players who still want to make it to the NFL. This is what the XFL needs to do. And they need to do it within themselves. And that's why I say this is the why part. Let's just get to that. This is the why part, okay? Why should the XFL do this and expand on their own? Because if it works and it's beneficial, now you have a 16-team developmental league for the NFL. Now, if the CFL wants to merge with you, we'll take away, I believe there's up to 10 teams now, we'll take away 2. Just bring in 8. Now we done thrown Canada in the mix. Then, if the USFL isn't as successful as they hope to be, and they're on the verge of going into bankruptcy or whatever the case, hey, fuck it, merge with the USFL and bring the USFL teams into the XFL. Now we've got a 32-team league and a real full functioning developmental league for the NFL. And what we don't want to do, because we all know how the NFL is, we go into an agreement with them to be the developmental league if we can make it up to 32 teams. But instead of the teams in the NFL, like the owners owning an XFL team, we don't do that. We just go into agreement like, hey, this team within the same market area as your pro football team or your NFL team will be the developmental league team for your NFL pro football team. So breaking that down is we're gonna put the stipulations like this. No owner can own an XFL team. We're not doing that because now we don't want our league to turn into some crap. Okay? We want our league to stay the way it is. So we go into this agreement where, hey, a player gets injured. A star player, let's say a star player on an NFL team roster gets injured, and they're out for the whole season. And by the time the season's over, they're ready to get back in there, start working out again, start getting a feel for the game again, get their feet wet again. Shit, throw them in the XFL roster for that team that's in your market area. You feel what I'm saying? Now, those players can get back in the groove, play again, play a whole season of spring ball, and then be ready for preseason for the NFL. And now they're even back. They're back even better. You know what I mean? They're back even better. They're in better form. They're in better shape now because they've had that XFL season to play as well. You feel what I'm saying? So that way, it just makes it easier. Or even if they just do a certain amount of games in the XFL season to get their feet wet and get back in their groove. That's the way the agreement should be. It shouldn't be NFL team owners being able to turn around and buy an XFL team. We don't want that. We want our league to stay our league and to be a developmental league for the NFL with our minor league, the IFL, and do it that way. So it just makes it easier for us to continue having good spring football and not some bull crap that the NFL is going to try and turn it into. Sorry, but I'm just speaking the real. But again, this is how and why the XFL should and could do an expansion within themselves, within their league, within our league, on our own, without having to go and merge with anybody else yet or bring in any other company to merge with us, anything like that. We can do it on our own and bring these different markets football teams. And then, like I said, we can expand further and merge with other spring leagues. Just like, let's say, the USFL were to do the same similar thing. Use old logos and bring back old teams. Now we see what teams are in their market, see what teams are in the XFL market. Boom, bring those teams in. Boom, now we got a 32-team league. You feel what I'm saying? That's why I was saying, hey, we may not bring that New York, New Jersey team back because the USFL has a New Jersey Generals team. You know what I'm saying? That Houston team for, of course, the USFL would get moved somewhere else. You know, and I'll do a video for you guys as well on that and break everything down on how I think the USFL could expand. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know if you think this would be a good way for the XFL to expand within themselves first, within our league first, and then think about merging with another spring league. I want to know what you guys think. I want to know what you think about the concept maps, if those market areas would be good to have a team there or bring back a team. Or where do you guys think a team should be placed in the XFL to help our league expand? Let me know in the comment section. I definitely want to hear from you guys. Again, this is your boy, Jersey the King. This is the new video series, XFL Now. I'll bring you guys some more videos. Stay locked and tuned in here. Follow my socials. Keep it locked, man, because I'm bringing y'all some more content. And also, come check me out Saturdays at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 noon Eastern, live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch for the Gridiron podcast show, live on the Jersey the King show, where we're talking nothing but football, baby. Nothing but football. NFL, XFL, USFL, NCAA, the UFL, which is coming back this year in 2023, the whole nine. So if you guys want to hear more about football, talk more XFL, talk USFL, the whole nine, join me on the Gridiron. Saturdays, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 noon Eastern, right here on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. I'm your boy, Jersey the King. Holla at your boy.